started to cool down a little bit as well, and should be a lovely evening for some soccer. And with that, the ball is rolling at SU Soccer Stadium. Syracuse in the orange, attacking left to right. Binghamton in the all-black away strip. Marsteller onto the ball early and surveying her options, trying to play it forward. Marsteller will collect her own rebound. Early pass up for Victoria McKnight. Shimmies off one defender. As Hannah Kinich to her left-hand side. Kinich's shot blocked. Alyssa Abramson in the way and drawing an early foul.
Abramson did the good thing there in making sure to step to that ball when the other players needed help and clearing it out.
So at the back for Syracuse, the two central defenders, Grace Gillard and Kylan Grant, starting the attack. And Annie, that's something they had a little bit of trouble with earlier this week in a 2-1 loss to Auburn.
Yeah, it seemed a little shaky on that two-back line, or in the two center backs back there against Auburn. But as things progressed, they became a lot more comfortable and calm with that duo.
Abramson intercepting again and receives the give and go. It's Aisha Cobb for Ashley Rauch with the captain's armband. Rauch to the edge of the area, crossing it in front. Cleared away, if only for a moment. And second opportunity hung on to by the Bearcats. Paige Luke forced to turn back, and Fleury there to intercept. Erin Fleury, one of the bright sparks of the Syracuse offense. Saw her play a little bit more of a midfield role in that Auburn loss. That is now back up on that front three. Cobb wanting to drive down the wing. Gonna run out of real estate soon. Hasn't looked for the turn and instead will roll out of play for her goal kick.
She attempted to go down that goal line and make that drive, but I think if she used a little bit more speed and aggression, then it could have been successful. But I think taking it to that goal line is something an important forward should do.
The goalkeeper for the Bearcats, Caitlin Williams, appeared in every game for Binghamton last season. There's a lovely flick on forward, and Kylan Grant is there once again. Just early warning signs from the Syracuse defense, and Shea Vanderbosch just forced to scurry it away.
But I like the pass there from Kylan Grant back to Shea Vanderbosch, knowing when you're at times of pressure and just using that keeper in the back.
Shea Vanderbosch, somebody who was tasked by her coach, Nikki Adams, with becoming more of a complete goalkeeper. And so what that means in the modern game is not only making saves, but also starting attacks and making sure you're picking out the right passes. And Annie, you saw her warming up that long Route 1 pass a little bit.
Yeah, Nikki Adams was saying how she wants Vanderbosch to become a holistic soccer player, not just a goalkeeper. So whether that means being more athletic and enhancing her speed of play and reflexes, and I think that's an example right there.
Vanderbosch, a sophomore, another underclassman for this Syracuse team, despite it being senior night. A lot of younger faces for the Orange with leadership roles on and off the pitch. And that's something that head coach of Binghamton University, Neil Bhattacharjee, is unfamiliar with. He started with Syracuse a couple years ago as a recruiter, recruited many amazing names to this team. Jenna Tivnan last year, of course, Lizzie Ann Prue with the Canadian national team. But this is the first season he's playing Syracuse where he says he doesn't really know what to expect.
Yeah, and Jenna Tivnan was that last player that he really recognized and said he played a role and a helping hand in recruiting for Syracuse's team.
Here's Kylan Grant. Long to the near side. Kate Murphy, one of the seniors, recognized tonight. Vanderbosch in a little bit of trouble. And a good pass from the goalkeeper. But the high press from Binghamton, trying to win it right back. Options queuing up in the area for the pass. Hannah Mimas trying to go herself. Defender goes over, Mimas with space for the shot, and she'll try it. And in the end, just bent away from the far post.
Something we saw against Auburn on Thursday was a play similar to that, and making those plays out wide and crossing them, and then the Syracuse defenders have to make sure they're staying on their mark. And I think that Syracuse did a good job of following their mark here and got a bit lucky, but I think that they're working on that and making sure to keep it in mind.
Hannah Mimas, the Baldwinsville native, a couple of these Binghamton players, Syracuse natives, and plenty of Binghamton faithful in the crowd tonight as well. It's a poor pass in the middle from Zoe van de Kloot. Hannah Knitsch could be away. Charging down the near flank, and van de Kloot recovering excellently.
She made a strong shield there so as not to secure the goal kick. I think that play from the start had potential where they brought it from the left flank all the way to the right, because I like that idea of making that switch of the sides.
So Annie, you mentioned earlier that the transition play for Syracuse was something you were watching out for. And about 5.5, 6 minutes in, what are you seeing so far?
I think that on that a couple plays ago when we saw Syracuse making sure to hold their marks a little bit more, especially from Alyssa Abramson, I think that they are keeping an eye on it after losing a goal to Auburn last Thursday, just like that.
Fleury with a one-touch pass. Checking back, going down, and a free kick. Erin Fleury with 3 points in 3 appearances this season. Played a little bit more of a midfield role against Auburn on Thursday and is now back up top and receives the pass. Fleury trying to go forward. It's cut away by Garofalo. Falls to Abramson. One-touch pass to the far side and a shot from distance. It's over the bar, but Williams forced to scramble.
I like that shot from Kate Murphy and taking those chances, because she had that one touch and then the shot to make sure when she had that time she was able to take that shot.
Caitlin Williams, who posted a 78% save percentage last year, trying to equal that mark early on through 3 games, has 70%, which for a goalie is quite high. Fleury chipping it through. Ashley Rauch is onside. Ashley Rauch scores!
You were talking about earlier that playmaking from Erin Fleury and that duo with the 2 captains, Ashley Rauch, they really just connected super well. They switched positions almost, where Ashley took that forward roll and taking that shot with her left hand. Here it's coming from Fleury down in the middle. You'd think she's playing the midfielder position, but they actually swapped to where she takes that forwards touch and finished it off very nicely.
What a deft finish it is from a midfielder to see the goalie charge off her line and just scoop underneath it into an empty net. Makes it look so easy. And Ashley Rauch gets her first goal of 2023 in minute number 8.
We were just talking about how Rauch is making that appearance and switch to a more forward playing role. And there you just saw that she just did that.
When these 2 teams met last year, it was a close 2-1 win for Syracuse. Both of the Orange's goals coming off of a corner kick. And now Syracuse off and running an open play at SU Soccer Stadium. It will be a corner kick for Binghamton, won by Hannah Knitsch. Coach Bhattacharjee prides himself and his squad on practicing set pieces offensively and defensively. And watching on as the first corner of the night goes to the visitors. It's a deep ball by the penalty area, headed away by Erin Fleury. Second ball on the ground, poked away through contact. Syracuse with a quick restart, and the referee won't allow it. Fleury wasn't happy about it, neither was Coach Adams.
I liked that idea too, making that quick setup and just try and get them on the counterattack.
And immediately Coach Adams issuing instructions to Alyssa Abramson at that right back position, which is where Kylan Grant was last year, and now playing in that central pairing at the back to the left of Grace Gillard.
And here's another look of using Vanderbosch as that holistic soccer player, not just a goalkeeper, and making her a part of that set play.
Abramson tried to drive into the center of the park, and 2 hands on the head from her head coach. That was not the instruction. Here's Alex Marsteller. Cut away at the first time of asking. Second ball still there. Another shot and another save from Shea Vanderbosch, as she does so often for this team. Again, that transition play from Syracuse, Annie, just looking a little bit shaky from time to time.
Definitely going to need a little bit of time to settle into things, but I think Syracuse should be working on making those smooth and clean transitions from start to finish.
Vanderbosch looking long. Abramson heading it forward. And time for Aisha Cobb to settle. Roush. Cobb told to turn and does. There's Max Thornton. Roush has two defenders to beat. Just back to the goalie from Allison Falvo. How about the one-touch passing from the Orange?
Loved that passing sequence from the Orange where they made that triangle before sending it into the middle and making that turn, open face turn.
Syracuse very packed in to the near touchline. Not a lot of space on the width. And Apilli will try and go herself, looking for options. Abramson is one of them. Alyssa Abramson going to goal and sizing it up. And it required two hands from Caitlin Williams.
So far tonight, we've seen a couple of times where those wing backs, Kate Murphy and Alyssa Abramson, taking it into the center of the field and making that shot outside the box.
Another ball over the top that Kylan Grant is behind for Syracuse. Vanderbosch one time away. Murphy now almost lost it. It's a bit chaotic for Syracuse out of the back once again, and Hannah Mimas trying to start the attack for Binghamton. Garofalo. Sliding it through. Knitsch with the curler, and Vanderbosch comfortably behind it.
I think Syracuse is making it a little tricky and playing it a little risky for Vanderbosch by taking balls back into the center and into the 18-yard box, when realistically as a defender you should be looking to go back out to the wide or send it up forward. So something to think about moving forward.
But early on, both teams taking plenty of shots. Nobody afraid to try their luck. Kylan Grant with some room to roam. Fleury, no room to turn, but she somehow does it anyway. Erin Fleury on the charge. And Aisha Cobb was on the other end of the needle. That couldn't be threaded. Time maybe for the switch, and Grace Gillard there in the way. Marsteller lost it. Apilli with Fleury in support. Erin Fleury gonna try and go herself onto her left foot. One more touch. Can she cut it back across? She earns a corner. But an excellent quick break play from Erin Fleury.
Erin Fleury did have Ashley Rouch on that right side of the box as an open pass too. A little bit tricky of an angle with number 15 coming in close behind her too.
Well, her head coach Nikki Adams said Erin Fleury is never one to shy away from goal. Always gonna try her luck no matter how far or how tight of an angle in this case. Set piece opportunity for Syracuse. Cross to the front post, it bounced once. Still not away. Off the goal line and blocked once again. Syracuse scored 2 goals from the corner against Binghamton last year, and not the best defending from the Bearcats.
Coach Patacharji did say he really takes pride in defending corner kicks and set pieces. He said he hasn't conceded a goal off a corner kick yet this year.
Good, Hannah! Good, Hannah!
Long pass forward. Hold up play from Paige Luke. And once again, the Orange trying to win it back right at midfield. And as soon as they get the ball, Syracuse really look to stretch the width of the pitch. Annie, how does that change how they go forward?
I think by stretching the width of the field, especially from the wing backs and the right and left forwards, it really opens up the field and makes sure that you're getting all those options and passes available.
Emphatic challenge from Ashley Rouch, who didn't shy away from any 50-50 pass against Auburn on Thursday. Marsteller.
Rauch is certainly one of those center midfielders that is fearless with those 50-50 balls.
Herbert looking long once again. Back line for Binghamton, trying those long passes over the top, and when they try to go down the wing, it doesn't work.
Ash.
And the referee has taken exception to something. Alex Marsteller shown toward the sideline. It looks like a substitution will be on to replace her. Emma Calling for the Bearcats was lined up to go in. But as of right now, it looks like Binghamton temporarily down to 10. Williams knows it and plays it right back to Herbert. Checks her shoulder. And back to the goalkeeper once again. Brooke Herbert. All the way up towards Luke. Now with Mimas. Mimas with some speed. Has options to her left-hand side, goes to her right instead. Mimas in the corner, defended by Murphy. Trying to turn, and Murphy, unable to keep it in play, goes out for a corner.
Take a step to the right. Why?
Another deep corner headed on by Garofalo. A touch right in front. Hannah Kinich unable to steer it to the back of the net. Van de Kloot gonna try and go the other way, and Aisha Cobb was open. Good win in midfield. Here's Olivia McKnight. Lovely ball through, the flag stays down, one-on-one, and it is 1-1. Binghamton equalize. And Paige Luke, the freshman, doing it at SU Soccer Stadium.
She got that feed through and a great breakaway shot. I mean, as a keeper, you really don't have much choice there but to come out and make that, try and make that save. But Paige Luke made a low-time shot, and that was good for her.
How about the reaction on the sideline from Alex Marsteller? Fired up, and we talked about Olivia McKnight in the open and hadn't said her name yet. The first time we do, it's for an assist. So it looked like Alex Marsteller had a bloody nose and is now wearing the number 33 kit.
There's one of those unsung heroes that Coach Bhattacharjee credited, and she doesn't care about the bloody nose. She's ready to keep playing.
Binghamton University goal scored by number 29.
So this game had been pretty wide open, Annie, and then one pass, and suddenly it's 1-1.
Yeah, and those leading passes, again, that's kind of where you come from defending in that transitional phase.
Alyssa, how many touches? Alyssa!
And making sure you're keeping an eye out on all of your marks.
Alyssa Abramson playing that pass out of play and immediately told from the sideline, taking too many touches, as from the sideline, Alex Marsteller is back into the contest. Pass from Garofalo. Now McKnight tried to leave it in midfield. It looked like it came off Kinich last, and it did. Syracuse overloading the near side touchline. Coach Adams said they're going to try and do that But watch for when they switch the point of play, when they go to the other side. That's when they're going to have their space. They haven't done it yet. Abramson going to try and do it now, and it's a poor pass once again. Paige Luke, the goal scorer. McKnight on the slide rule pass. Fighting with Abramson, and Gillard with a no-nonsense clearance.
There's been a couple of times now when Abramson has lost that ball, trying to switch the field, but luckily she went back and hustled back to get the ball back.
Abramson with time. Behind the Clute. Didn't really have any real pressure, but played it back anyways. That line-breaking pass between defense and midfield for Syracuse, that's what caused problems for the first goal against Auburn on Thursday. And it nearly was a second goal for Binghamton just then. Settled by Ashley Rauch. Goal scorer for the Orange tonight. Lovely pass towards Erin Fleury, and she's going to get there. Fleury looking for shooting space. It's Erin Fleury, and it's blocked. And a physical tussle as well. Right into the boards.
She was trying to shield her out to get that corner, but came a little too aggressively. Ends up getting the foul.
Right, it was awarded as a foul. Let's see what happened. It was Erin Fleury and Grace Vittoria. What do you see there, Annie?
I think that even leading up to that pass, Ashley Rauch's pass out wide to Fleury was an incredible one. She had to keep going for it to savor that pass.
Set piece opportunity for Syracuse. Right on the touchline.
Paige, tight at 27.
It's a short one. An early shot is blocked. Another corner on deck. Ashley Rauch was wide open, but the pass seemed to not really find the mark.
That was a little bit of a tricky pass to receive. It could have been a little bit closer to her feet, so she had to make that run out a little bit further to the left to get that touch on it.
Referee has seen something in the box. Starting to get a little bit chippy between these in-state foes. 2 thumbs up from Fleury. Hannah Mimas doesn't seem as pleased. 4th corner kick of the night, split right down the middle. It's a short one. And in front was Victoria McKnight. Thornton. Grace Gillard, the defender, gonna try and create something. And uses her body well to shield for another corner.
And as a defender, you would want someone like Grace Gillard shielding that ball, because you've got to be used to it at that point from both sides of the field.
A first change of the night for the Orange. Aisha Cobb makes way. Anna Rupert on in her place.
I'm excited to see Rupert come into this field because I think she brings a lot in terms of speed and aggression.
Rupert, the sophomore forward, just with 1 shot on the year. Movement in the box from the Orange. It's a good ball toward Grace Gillard. Didn't reach its mark. Another shooting opportunity off the post. Impossibly close to a second for the Orange. Rauch trying to keep the attack alive and misplays the pass. Now for Kate Murphy, whose strike rocketed off the upright.
She's really taking those chances tonight, and she had that behind-the-back pass to herself to make it.
Sliding challenge denies Erin Fleury's cross. Grace Vittoria is fired up. That's going to be a battle to watch tonight. Those 2 players going at it early.
2 players that are extremely passionate in the game.
Here's Olivia McKnight again. 3-on-3 opportunity. 1 more pass. Kylan Grant in the way. Binghamton looking to continue the break. Marsteller to the far side. No shot, the call from Vanderbosch. The shot does come in and doesn't really trouble the goalkeeper.
Again, I said this before, but it's getting a little too risky in the 18-yard box, right outside of it. With Syracuse defenders playing it back into the middle, definitely not making it easy for Vander Bosch.
But how much space did Binghamton have on that counterattack? Olivia McKnight had the entire center circle to herself. What are you seeing in transition from Syracuse on the defensive side?
On the defensive side, I think Binghamton is really taking it to their backsides and really doing a better job at those transitions. It's just a Binghamton game in terms of transitions right now. And part of that comes from Marsteller, how Coach Bhattacharjee says she really links those sides.
Another tame effort. Caitlin Williams looking to restart play and doesn't see many options in front of her. Ball in her right hand. And rolls it along. Marsteller intercepted again and falls to Zoe van de Kloot, who is playing in that holding midfield role that was occupied earlier this week and earlier this season and last by Emma Klein. Out tonight with a lower body injury. And Annie, we talked about this, how with a player of Alex Marsteller's caliber in the engine room for Binghamton, Syracuse is really going to have to find answers without Emma Klein.
And I think Ashley Rauch is an option to have that person to fill the shoes of Emma Klein. But you also look at Mags Thornton, who came in for Emma Klein.
Abramson winning the duel on the edge of the area. Settled by Rauch. Van de Kloot. Rather Rupert now. Finding Van de Kloot. Pass not finding Fleury. Marsteller checks the shoulder. On the turn. Nitch left it in support. And got the thumbs up from Lexi Pagoda. A lot of space between Gillard and the other defenders. And her pass is intercepted rather easily. Grant fighting for it. Again, that ball from the back line for Syracuse, which was an issue in the first half in that 2-1 loss to Auburn in the midweek. Just needing a little bit of fine-tuning, but Coach Adams says this is the most coachable team she's ever had. He can take advice and run with it. Syracuse running down the offensive third now. Return pass cut away, but a little bit brighter in transition from Syracuse. That's what you've been looking for, Annie.
I think Kate Murphy is doing an excellent job tonight in making those runs all the way up and down the sideline, because as a wing back, that's really your main job.
Kate Murphy, who hit the post not too long ago, receives the throw in and gets by her mark. One-touch pass for Fleury. Has options with her. Erin Fleury's touch is a little bit heavy, gets the cutback and goes down. Shouts for a penalty. Coach Adams was out of her chair, irate. The referee's whistle stayed silent. Here's Vagoda. McKnight winning a foul. And now a chance for the Syracuse coaching staff to ask some questions of the referee.
It's certainly getting a little tense between the two in-state squads and rivals, both asking for these calls.
Ashley Rauch with the captain's armband getting the last word with the official, as captains traditionally do. Some new rule changes this year with IFAB, the laws of the game. Making sure that players are always respectful when talking to the referees, and if they have a question or a qualm, it's the captain's duty to make sure that question is answered. Marsteller's header yet to be corralled. Now intercepted. Hannah Pilley doesn't have a lot of support with her. Rauch checks the shoulder. Out wide for Rupert. And a Rupert driving in. Losing it the first time and winning it right back. Back for Rauch. Rupert making the run. Receiving the pass, and the one-time cross blocked and poked away by Garofalo.
Rauch made that run initially to make that overlap for Rupert. I do wish she saw her earlier there and passed that overlap.
Rupert tried the right thing by playing that cross the first time she got it. She's had 2 defenders in front of her. Settled by Rupert. Abramson low cross, and Marsteller there. Another shot from way out, and a flying paw tips it over the bar. Max Thornton trying her luck with some skill.
Mags Thornton took that one touch and then the shot, which is exactly what you want to do at the top of the box before you get crashed down on by a defender.
Let's go, Kate!
And from that angle, it looked like it was headed underneath the bar. Caitlin Williams doing everything in her power to get all the way upstairs.
Everything out!
Kate Murphy ready to send it in. Another SU corner. Another good delivery. And Caitlin Williams behind it all the way.
Something that Coach Bhattacharjee said about Caitlin Williams is that she's really starting to get a better read of the game. And you have just seen that in those last 2 plays.
And the Clute with a quick restart. Rauch. Lovely run in behind the shoulder of her defender from Anna Rupert. Van de Clute. Abramson has some space. With the step over. Onto her left. Finding Fleury with her own pocket. Fleury wants the 1-2 through the legs of the defender and a little long. Fleury collects and crosses. Another save from Williams. And the rebound off the bar. The 3rd time it has been saved again. That's impossible. How on earth has Syracuse not scored? An incredible play from Caitlin Williams. Not once, but twice.
That shot from Max Thornton was obviously a little bit too high, hitting that corner post.
Well, the fans here at SU Soccer Stadium know the prowess of Shea Vanderbosch, and they've just been introduced to the skill of Kate Williams. She's smiling about it. She loves it.
She's pleased with how she's just been playing. How could you not?
That might be the best save all year. Is it too early to say that? So Max Thornton, who just tested Caitlin Williams a little bit ago, is taken off for Kendall Lahr. Lahr missed the season opener with injury, but has appeared for solid minutes in the last 2 contests for the Orange. Foul right at midfield, won by Ashley Rauch. Syracuse really haven't seen a lot of goal since Binghamton's equalizer. That all changed in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Still about 15 to go before the break.
I think that's because Syracuse is moving the ball around well in the attacking half and making sure to find feet instead of just forcing it up.
It was Ashley Rauch in the 8th minute to start the scoring party. And Paige Luke in the 17th to answer.
That ball was a good idea from Rauch, looking to find Fleury, who was already on that run, just didn't connect enough.
Gillard there for the long ball and needed to be. Grace Gillard, the real enforcer of this back line, as Aaron Fleury tried to imitate her to a different effect. Marsteller went down but got the ball away. Now skipping away from Knich, but she'll corral it rather. Hannah Knich one-on-one. Onto her right foot. Swiped across it. Just over the top of the ball and got away from her a little bit.
Abramson was making sure to stay with her man. She almost lost track of her a little bit, but Knich just got a little too far away from her touch.
It's another attacking substitution, this time for Binghamton. Samaya Reed enters the fray. Victoria McKnight will take a rest. Samaya Reed, who scored her first career goal in the America East title game last year for Binghamton. What a way to open your collegiate account. 2 defenders on the corner, out for a throw. Binghamton slowly starting to creep numbers forward. Lexi Vagoda taking plenty of space to throw this one in. And it is a very long throw towards Grace Gillard, though. Rupert needs some help and a little bit of trouble. Vagoda putting on the pressure. Samaya Reed, the beneficiary. It's Reed, blocked again. Grace Gillard has been absolutely everywhere for the Syracuse back line.
And I think that all says that she's been really needing to save Syracuse in the defensive half in terms of holding on to the ball too long and not necessarily finding feet to get it forward.
A little bit of pushing and shoving in midfield. Ashley Rauch winning it again.
She just stays extremely physical in the center of the field.
Erin Fleury has dropped back into midfield a little bit like she did earlier this week. We saw her in the last 30, 35 minutes or so up on that front line. Kendall Lawher has taken her place up there.
Yes, Hannah!
Another long ball over the top. It's behind Gillard. Samaya Reed has the pace, but not the cutback. How many more times will we say Grace Gillard's name this half?
She's already had a better start in this game than she did against Auburn. And that just goes to show you how much she's settling in and feeling more comfortable in both her captain's role and as the center back still.
Binghamton have been trying that long pass over the top a lot in this game, and Samaya Reed, fresh off the bench, certainly had the wheels.
She's definitely bringing the pace that Binghamton was lacking.
Another trip to the corner flag for the Bearcats. It's a very long delivery, almost over everybody in the box. So maybe a bit of a let-off for Syracuse off a poorly executed set piece. Triple change in the waiting for Coach Bhattacharjee. Some extra reinforcements to try and flip the script before the break.
Whenever subs come in, they really have to make their mark on if they're going to change the pace and the momentum of the game. So we'll see it from these Binghamton members if they're going to do that.
It is a triple change. Peyton Gilmore, Molly McClellan, and Lauren Clark. Two forwards and a midi. So more offensive reinforcements, as you just mentioned, Annie. Maybe just fresher legs, some new speed to try and get on the end of that long pass over the top. No turn by the way of Colin Grant. McKnight. Travella pass to the near side. Here's Clark freshly off the bench with the hesitation, looking for shooting space. Syracuse players running into each other, and Grace Gillard with another no-nonsense clearance. The sophomore captain just making sure that if in doubt, play the ball out. As is taught in England, the Arsenal Academy where she grew up playing. Tested header still not dealt with. Lahr with a push and go. Doesn't get on the end of it.
There's another look at that work needed to be in those transitions. Just trying to get it out of the defensive half, whether that be to feed it out or just take it on your own.
Murphy getting it back from Fleury. Kate Murphy going forward again, trying to play the long pass through, and it will be denied by the offside flag. Anna Rupert made the run, just a little bit mistimed, but as you mentioned a little earlier, Annie, Kate Murphy, the left back, a defender, not hesitating to go forward and facilitate play.
She really wants to get on the point board in her senior night.
And what does that say really about the modern outside backs in the game that are really required to put in so much effort both defensively but also offensively?
Definitely needs to have a good balance of making sure you know when to track back and to get back and defend, like right now.
Actually does. It looked like it came off the arm of the attacker. That's what the official has signaled for. Kate Murphy, the two-way player, as it were, playing very well through just about 37 minutes and change. Here's Kylan Grant. And Murphy. One-time pass that Lawler receives. Has space to turn and will do so. Lawler closed down quickly, though. It's a good win in midfield. A physical challenge that the referee is not interested in stopping play for. Abramson. Fleury. Intercepted by Garofalo. Another one-time pass. Samaya Reed is there. Lost her footing, but not the attack. Reed once again, skipping by Zoe van de Kloot. And Fleury in support.
Fleury came in when she knows her teammate needed that extra teammate to come in and step in for a double play.
Some contact off the ball between Fleury and Reed. The referee had the whistle ready, but it stayed silent. A little bit back and forth right now. Neither side really settling into their game plan for the last couple minutes. Erin Fleury going to look to change that. She's migrated over to the near side. Hold on to the ball a little bit too long, but it'll find Rupert anyways. Anna Rupert with two defenders to beat. Onto her right, crossing it in. The goalie didn't come out for it. Had to be scrambled away. A little bit nervy from Binghamton, but in the end dealt with for now. More changes, one for each side. Kenzie Dupre up top for Syracuse. Hannah Pilley scored earlier this week to take a seat. Meanwhile, for Binghamton, Davia Rossi will replace Grace Vittoria at the outside back position on the far side. 6 minutes until the interval. Another lofted in swinger. Keeper got it. Fleury went down. The referee not interested.
Caitlin Williams has been doing an excellent job of coming off of her back line and not being afraid to make those catches in the air, especially on set pieces, which is something Coach Bhattacharjee said he really enjoys from his team.
Sophia Garofalo, as soon as she gets that pass, she's looking long for Samaya Reed. Was cut away that time. Here's Fleury. Has an option in Kendall Lahr, trying to turn and ran out of room. Binghamton defense doing a great job of collapsing in the ball carrier as soon as Syracuse gets into that final third. McClellan forced back. A lot of space in midfield, a lot of space on the near side as well for Lauren Clark for the switch. It's not on just yet. Binghamton slowly creeping down that far touchline. Keeping the ball pinned on the far side for now with Rossi. Clone's pass intercepted. Rauch can go the other way. She's got some speed. Lost it for a second. It has Rupert to her right-hand side. Rupert into the center of the park. Abramson, first time pass. Rauch has stayed onside. Space for the cross, trying to cut it back. Loses her mark momentarily. Still with Ashley Rauch, the goal scorer. Coughed it up, and a sliding challenge makes it Binghamton ball. Only for a moment.
Rauch had that option to send it back to Alyssa Abramson, which would have been a smart call to send it back into the box.
Contested throw goes the way of Syracuse. Fleury wants to turn, invites the contact, and does. Rauch for Fleury again. Kate Murphy has gone forward. Kate Murphy will try once again, and it's another tip over the bar. Caitlin Williams not happy with her defense, but should be happy with that kind of goalkeeping.
And Kate Murphy really just being willing and taking those shots from way outside the box. She's hungry for it.
Almost a carbon copy of a play that happened a little while ago. Seeing Caitlin Williams off her line and nearly sneaking it underneath the crossbar. Another orange corner kick. Another good delivery towards Gillard. Swatted away. Another shot from distance off the bar. It didn't cross the line. Syracuse hit the woodwork again.
At this point, you have to wonder as Syracuse to take those low corner shots, because you keep making these shots to go up to the crossbar, and Williams just has great height to her ability and jumping to get them saved.
It's an all-out offensive game. Binghamton going all out on the counter now. Chipped into the mixer, sent skywards by Gillard. Lawler missed it at the first ask, and dispossessed on the second. A little bit nervy for Binghamton right before the break. And some language from Davia Rossi, who wasn't happy with the call. Space for Vandekloot. Kicks out a great pass for Rupert, who checked back for it. Now plays Kate Murphy. Left back going forward once again. Lahr trying to turn. Vandekloot will help. Crouch checks the shoulder. Played it a little bit long in the end. Crouch onto her own rebound. She's going to try from way out, and it's speculative at best.
Early on in that sequence of passes between Vandekloot, Rauch, Rupert even coming in there, I really liked the way they're focusing on holding on to the ball and checking back so as not to force it forward.
So Syracuse hit the post and hit the crossbar and forced a couple amazing saves out of Caitlin Williams. Annie, in your eyes, are they in the driver's seat going into halftime?
That's a tough one, because I think in the opposing 18-yard box, they're taking those shots, but when Binghamton has the ball in the defensive half, Syracuse is almost struggling to get it out and send it forward. So I think that if Syracuse knows how to hold on to the ball in the midfield and focus on connecting passes and bringing it forward into the box and kind of completing it, then they'll do great.
37 seconds for Syracuse to get a second. Abramson. Coach Adams screaming at her players to get forward. And it's a poor pass. Here's Samaya Reed the other way, has work to do by herself against Kylan Grant. 20 on the clock now. Reed with nowhere to roam. And that'll just about do it. Countdown starts. Syracuse will just knock it around. But what an entertaining first half on senior night at SU Soccer Stadium. What a job she had to do in that first half. So the ball is rolling once again at SU Soccer Stadium. 1-1 through 45. Who's to say what the next 45 have in store? Starting to cool off a little bit as well, but the playing surface is held up nicely. Poor pass at the back, though, from Grace Gillard. Out of the locker room and just stretching the legs once again.
Gillard was a huge piece in the first half for Syracuse in clearing the ball out of the defensive half.
Vanderbosch will restart play. The less busy of the two netminders tonight, which usually can't be said of Shea Vanderbosch. But Kate Murphy, whose play you really liked in that first half, Annie, again, just losing the ball out to touch. Murphy with it back now, and an early pass up top towards Pilley, poked away. Sophia Garofalo now. A long searching ball to the corner. It's going to stay in bounds. Bearcats queuing up in the area. Plenty of space for the shot instead. Abramson trying to defend it. The shot does come in. Hits a body on the way through. Vanderbosch went flying. Second attempt on the volley, swing and a miss. Herbert trying to send it back in. Skipping away from Kinich. It's a heavy touch. She'll get on the end of it. So too will Grace Gillard.
It's early on in the second half, but a little too much action going on in Syracuse's 18-yard box. They're trying to clear it out, but almost not succeeding as enough as they did in the first.
Vander Bosch out to claim. Loose ball. As we talked about in that first half, trying to be the more holistic goalkeeper, taking a good scan of what's in front of her and playing the short option with Kylan Grant. Now to Murphy. Fleury, the forward, has once again dropped back into midfield, opening up space for her teammates. One of them being Lisa Lawton, who wins a foul. Auden beat to it this time. A change at the break for Coach Adams. Herber now. Another long pass over the top, almost skipping through. Luke fighting for it. Scramble towards McKnight. Luke's gonna get the return pass, but straight offside in the process.
I got lucky with that call there, because especially as a defender, you do take that risk in stopping to save the call.
Paige Luke, the freshman who scored the first goal of the season for Binghamton.
Gillard making that wave of her hand, as a captain should be doing, to say to the refs, like, hey, she's offsides.
And it should be mentioned, the Bearcats tonight had not scored a goal in their opening 3 contests. That all changed in the 17th minute with the freshman Paige Luke. First goal for her team and the first yellow card of the night as well, to Mackenzie Dupre. Another midfield change at the interval.
Alex Marsteller really getting beaten up in this game so far. She came out in the first half quickly for a change of the jersey with a bloody nose. Now she's down again, but she is that unsung hero Coach Bhattacharjee said she was. I'd be surprised if she doesn't stay in the game.
Yellow card in your book, Annie?
Yes. With that flailing wave of the hand, definitely a card.
So, likely against her wishes, Alex Marsteller will go to the sideline once again. She is a fighter.
I'll be surprised if she's out for long.
It's her 40th career start tonight for Binghamton, the Pennsylvania native. One of the few players out of state for Coach Bhattacharjee. Headed on into the box. Not a convincing clearance. They're gonna have to work for it. And working for the foul. More physical play on the near side. Binghamton win it right back. McKnight moving it along to her sister. Once again, Grace Gillard. How many more times will we say her name?
Although Syracuse is really struggling to get it out of their half because they're not really connecting passes well. They're not finding feet. It's more of just to force it up the field to try and make something happen.
Dupre dispossessed by McKnight. Victoria takes some contact from Fleury, and those two were certainly battling a bit in that first 45. Garofalo striding forward now. Two players in support to defend on the far side. Abramson called for the double team and deflecting the cross. Thornton can collect calmly. As you mentioned, Annie, Syracuse team having a little bit of trouble playing out of the back, but we spoke to Coach Adams earlier this week, and she said this is one of the most coachable squads she's had in years. They can watch film and the next training session immediately implement those changes, and it goes the same for halftime. Whatever's said in the dressing room is going to be put into play. As Erin Fleury wants to put a cross into play. Gets the better of her defender, puts the cross in, and in the end, too close to the frame.
Erin Fleury was really giving it her all and making that run down to the goal line.
She's immediately up on her feet and tells the referee she's fine. Erin Fleury, always one to wear her emotions on her sleeve.
She's also one of those players that Coach Adams says she can tell her to play anywhere. And we've seen that based on playing on the wing, playing in the center, midfield, forward, anything.
Olivia McKnight chipping it through. Luke was making the run. Just skipped away from the forward in the end.
The McKnight twins are ones I don't feel like we've spoken enough about, but they do have an interesting story. Both midfielders. Also had two brothers that played at Binghamton who were also midfielders.
Victoria McKnight was a second-team all-conference selection last year. Olivia McKnight was the defending America East Midfielder of the Year, the first selection in Binghamton history. As the referee has a couple words for Grace Vittoria, who has clashed with Erin Fleury once again. Here is Coach Bhattacharjee, who must have seen some positives in the first half for Binghamton, and has spoken about this team's ability to defend set pieces. They must do so now. Coach Adams barking out some instructions. She wants Grace Gillard to take it instead. Rauch has shown short. Poor first pass. Gillard, the center back, with some space. Flipping it in. Garofalo heading it down. And now back to Gillard.
Syracuse have been lucky.
Charge.
Syracuse have been lucky to keep that ball there, given the amount of times they'd almost skipped out of their control.
Paige Luke had led the charge. She'll do it again to try and get the Binghamton defense to step up. So many black shirts on the opposite side of midfield. Fleury knew she was offside. That Binghamton defense working to a charm.
Vanderbosch taking that long ball again, making that holistic goalkeeper, soccer player approach. And we had talked about how something that Vanderbosch needed to improve on from last game against Auburn was her long balls.
Here's Hannah Mimas. Has McKnight with her. Mimas going to try and go herself. Mimas' shot went through her defender, appealing for a corner. And it looks like it will be a corner.
Vanderbosch had purposefully on this shot missed it and let it go out of bounds because she and the whole team assumed that it would be given a goal kick.
Well, all the Binghamton players ran forward for a corner. They're backing up now. Referee has decided goal kick instead.
You got it right.
Let's take a look at some scores around the ACC. Virginia, a very good team that Syracuse played on the road last year to a tough draw, has gotten a solid win against George Mason. Louisville and Northern Kentucky scoreless at the half. Louisville, another strong team in the ACC, but then again, all teams are. Chance for Binghamton. McKnight trying her luck. Whiskering wide. An excellent scoring opportunity for Binghamton, and Victoria McKnight couldn't find the frame.
Vanderbosch lucky there because she would have been a little bit slow to get over to that left corner because it was looking like it was going to the upper 90.
It's the first time we've seen Binghamton take a shot from inside the box in a while, and really, Annie, from that sort of range, could you be asking more of a player to be trying to put that in between the posts and underneath the crossbar?
And especially testing Vanderbosch too, because you have two keepers in this game that have been strong in net.
Mimas on the charge once again, clipping it to the back stick. Missed by the foot, but hit by the hand. It's Victoria McKnight again, working herself into the right spaces, but not making the connection.
Syracuse really got lucky here because they left their man open, and McKnight was wide open to get that touchdown there. She just couldn't connect.
And Andy, you saw she swung her right leg at that ball. Is that a right-footed shot or a left-footed shot?
Got to go left ear header. It was just too awkward of an angle for her to try her right foot.
Syracuse getting orders to step up from the sideline. Zoe Van de Kloot freshly onto the pitch. 1-2, a little bit behind the Belgium native. Brooke Herber forced back. Williams forced to stamp it skyward. Kate Murphy just gives it right back to Olivia McKnight, finding Hannah Mimas. Mimas has McKnight at the back stick. Doesn't see her. Mimas gonna try and go herself on her right, blocked once again. Hannah Mimas has been making a couple runs down that near touchline and wins another corner for the visitors.
Mimas has been a huge presence in this second half in making those runs down the wing and also looking to set it up in the middle. She just did not do that time.
It'll be Lexi Vagoda over to take. A first-team All-America East selection last year. An 11-point season as a junior. It's a deep cross from Vagoda. It bounced through. Syracuse defense from set pieces. Again, just looking a little bit less than ideal.
A little too shaky, in my opinion. You have that clear out, which is necessary, but you're just giving the ball right back to Binghamton. I think that when you're in that situation, you need to look to continue and build up from the back line.
So the referee has stopped play so that Kate Murphy can receive some attention as the trainers are waved on. Which is a shame, Annie, because especially her first half performance, you took a liking to.
She is definitely one of those players who is playing her wing-back position incredibly well. She's making those runs up and down the sideline to set paces up, but also she's tracking back to mark her defender, which is what you really rely on for a wing-back defender.
So Binghamton opting for a quick huddle on the sideline as the Syracuse players stay on the pitch and talk it out. These players at home right now as they were on Thursday, but not home for very long. In fact, 5 straight road games for this team against some very tough competition.
And not to mention that the last one of those road games is its first ACC opponent, Miami. Miami was the only conference team last year that Syracuse could get a win out of, but still tough to do at the end of a 5-game road trip.
That contest here at SU Soccer Stadium, 3-1 the final. Goal scorers Chelsea DeMond, Blue Ellis, and then the one remaining goal scorer, Ashley Rauch.
One that comes where she goes back with them.
Shea Vanderbosch getting some instructions.
Do you want me on goal kick? Do you want me still playing long? Do you want me to
Yes,
play short?
go long, go long. I'm saying
As
when
you
Gilly
heard,
gets the ball, can she find that space?
Shea Vanderbosch says, on goal kicks, do you still want me to play it long? And her coach said yes. What do you think, Annie?
I think that we did see Shea Vanderbosch warming up with those defenders and making those long balls. I think she's confident in that, and she's comfortable with her position on the back line to make those long balls. So I think that's a smart decision, especially when Syracuse needs to get it out of this defensive half.
Well, Binghamton have been doing a very similar style of play, especially down the near side touchline, the one that was guarded previously by Kate Murphy, who will take a break. Did they bring somebody in while I wasn't looking?
With Kate Murphy taking a break, you do lose a little bit of that transition aspect that Syracuse needs some more effort on. But as a wing back, to be running up and down those flanks all night long, it's an incredible task.
So Kendall Lahr, who was playing a forward role in the first half, has been brought on at the back for Kate Murphy and has slotted into that right back spot. As Alyssa Abramson goes over to the left. Left for McKnight, one-time pass. First time cross, cut away on the ground. Interesting decision.
I actually like the call of bringing Kendall Lahr into the defensive position because she is one of the faster players on the Syracuse squad, and to have that speed on the back line is important.
Lahr defending in the corner and got beat on the overlapping pass. A shot in front, going to be called back for a foul. As Paige Luke made some space unfairly.
Kylan Grant did a great job of keeping on her mark there, so as not to leave that Binghamton player open, or any Binghamton player.
Grant going in with her head, not shying away from the 50-50 ball. That's why the referee stopped the play. That's the kind of tenacity you need at the back, especially when you're playing alongside Grace Gillard. Another appeal for a high foot. This one not going to be given. McKnight hit the dirt. Play rolls on. Garofalo now. Looks long once again. The feint from McKnight and another emphatic challenge from Gillard.
Victoria McKnight, actually the only player last year to score against the Orange in a 2-1 loss.
McKnight making her 45th career start for the Bearcats tonight, and had a couple glimpses at goal early in this second half. She'll cross it in now. It's over the head of Luke. Second ball bouncing around. Scooped back up by Binghamton, but only for a moment.
I think right now there seems to be a little bit of a disconnect between the Syracuse attackers and the Syracuse defenders. And the midfielders are hanging on back a little too much, so you leave that hole in trying to get it up the field.
Grace Victoria's cross in a dangerous area, not cleared away. Marsteller sending it wide. A good cross into the middle, headed down once again. Binghamton applying all the pressure. Syracuse just hoping to get it out of their defensive third. And they will with the help of a foul.
Crouch making that effort to continue with that transition and dribble it on forward to keep the ball. I like that play idea.
Here's Max Thornton. Onto the pitch tonight for Emma Klein, out with a lower body injury. Dupre falling away from it and blocked by Victoria. Gillard there to intercept. The Orange with some sustained offensive pressure now. Gillard will try her luck. And maybe that's why defenders don't shoot.
Taking it from pretty far out, but still goes high. I do still think that Syracuse has the opportunity to take it closer into the box and make those lower corner shots, given Caitlin Williams' strength so far in saving the high ones.
So a double change up top on either side of the striker, Hannah Pilley. It's Aisha Cobb on the left, who started this contest, and Anna Rupert on the right, who also saw some action off the bench in the first half. Rupert winning it right off the bench. And DeClute. Kylan Grant, not one to shy away from going forward. She's giving it to Abramson this time. And DeClute going to switch again.
That was a great sequence of going from the right-hand side all the way to the left-hand side. Abramson sending it back into the middle, and Van de Kloot opening back up and turning it again.
Gillard with a nervy play. Takes the first touch in stride. Syracuse having that ability to switch the point of attack very quickly. They can go forward now with Kendall Lahr. Has Rupert. Back for Lahr. It's Kendall Lahr. It takes a touch and it goes in! Right in front on senior night. Aisha Cobb gets her first goal of the season.
And I love this play from Rupert, setting Kendall Lahr up, and then Ada Cobb is right there for the rebound.
It wasn't off of Aisha Cobb. It was an own goal, rather, off of Allison Falvo. Cobb ran away celebrating, but it was Lahr's shot that goes off the defender.
And Lahr, the one to set up that play to begin with.
Well, Kendall Lahr gets the credit for now. It looked like the last touch came off of Allison Falvo, but for now, the junior will get the credit. Especially in the tail end of that first half, Syracuse looked likely to get a second. Probably not the way they were expecting to do it.
Substitution for Binghamton, number 25. Samaya Reed, number 12. Victoria McKnight.
The second half has been a lot of Binghamton in the Syracuse half. Syracuse lucky to have that one shot that stemmed from a good passing sequence between Rupert and Lahr, ultimately to get the goal.
It was a 2-1 scoreline when these two teams met in 2022.
Similar scoreline, similar faces on the field. We talked about earlier in the beginning how there's 23 returners for Binghamton this year and only one new player for Syracuse.
Vanderbosch all the way up, playing that long ball as her coaches instructed her to. That looked like a little bit of a pull from Hannah Pilley. And the referee will pull it back for a foul on Binghamton. Annie, what did you see?
That is an interesting call because Pilley, clearly the taller person in this matchup, trying to get around her, and worked out in her favor, although it's definitely an interesting call.
Pilley did start the contact, but then it was two hands on her back. And Brooke Herbert judged to break the rules. It's always the retaliation, right, Annie, from your playing days. Referee, sometimes the first contact isn't punished. It's that retaliation because usually that contact is a lot heavier.
The reaction is kind of what the referee is looking for in most cases. In what comes next, how are you handling the play?
Another foul, and that shrill whistle will sound again.
Pilley involved in both.
Just a chance for tempers to settle down a little bit in the break of play. Still 25.5 minutes to go. And quite honestly, from the flow of play, Binghamton may feel hard done by to not be leading this contest for how they've started the second half.
Coach Bhattacharjee reflected that feeling in another game against Canisius, a 0-0 draw. He said, just did not reflect at all.
Flurry going down, and it looks like another yellow card will be on deck. It will. Sophia Garofalo stopping a promising attack, and I have a feeling, Andy, you're going to agree with that call a little bit more.
This one's certainly a yellow card in my book. You can't really come in from behind and just put all of that energy and force into the player with the ball. Too risky for the Binghamton players right now.
It was Hannah Mimas who took down Erin Fleury, but it was the earlier foul punished by the referee. Fleury. Rauch with the pullback and the clip and the save. Ashley Rauch shooting once again, and Caitlin Williams, as she has done so often tonight, getting in the way.
I love the shots that Syracuse middies and wing backs are taking from outside the box, but it makes you wonder if you should really look to go forward and get into that box.
Well, something you talked about in the first half, Annie, was Syracuse putting all these shots upstairs. From that sort of distance rather, are you still looking to see a shot on the ground?
From outside the box, a shot on the ground is definitely difficult. If you ping it, then definitely. But I think Syracuse needs to work on getting those connecting passes inside, closer to the 6.
Hannah Mimas has been connecting passes all night. She won't get a chance to do so this time. How about the hustle play in the corner from Kylan Grant?
Love that hustle in attempting to save it so that as not to get a corner.
There have been plenty of corners tonight for both teams, but neither side really making the most of those chances. As another chance for Binghamton just flashes wide of the 6-yard box. Nobody getting a touch on it.
Game also very different from last year's contest where Syracuse scored off of 2 corner kicks. Erin Fleury, one of them, and Jenna Tivnan, who was a grad student last year, the other.
Jenna Tivnan was part of that center back pairing with Grace Gillard in Gillard's freshman year, and head coach Nikki Adams said Gillard learned so much, not only about how to play, but how to be a leader. So now in Tivnan's absence, the sophomore dons the captain's armband and has been everywhere tonight. Gillard once again, that's a beautiful pass to find Pilley. And now Fleury on the overlap. Forced to turn back, Fleury will now try to break out at pace. Shoved off the ball. Brooke Herber with some physical defense. Forced to use her goalkeeper. Syracuse doing a much better job now of putting the pressure on as soon as they lose the ball. The official stopped play. It looked like a foul, but the signal is offsides. Binghamton took the restart. It wasn't theirs to take.
You guys are a joke. This is such a fucking joke.
So Maya Reed was the guilty party who came on late in that first half with a lot of pace off the bench. Didn't get a chance to show it that time. Zoe Van de Kloot now. Aisha Cobb getting the better of her mark, losing the ball. Just getting a little bit excited in front of frame, as Coach Adams talked about before the interval.
Aisha Cobb was great there at pushing the defender onto her inner side and keeping the ball on the left to go around her, but just did not work out with too big of a touch towards the box.
Nearly got a touch on that second goal, but it was Kendall Lahr's strike to make it 2-1 Syracuse. Marsteller. A nutmeg and a skip away. And a pass to the near side with Mimas, who has strayed over the line once again.
The Syracuse defense, being led by Grace Gillard, is doing a fantastic job of holding their line to force those Binghamton players off sides.
And I'm curious to get your take on this, Annie, because against Siena, the win for Syracuse this year, their lone win, 3-0 win. They played that offside trap a lot. And the converse of the offside trap is when it doesn't work, it leads to counterattacks, sometimes 2, 3-on-0. And Siena wasn't able to put any of those away. Then against Auburn, Syracuse didn't really use that offside trap a lot. Now in the second half, doing it a little bit more. What do you think about that tactical decision?
It's sounding like a pattern leading to wins. Not to jinx it, but it's definitely a risk that those defenders take in leading to those counterattacks.
Brooke Herber taking no risks with that ball and conceding another Syracuse corner. About 20 minutes to play at SU Soccer Stadium. Still 2-1 in favor of the Orange on senior night.
Every decision we make is perfect.
Alyssa Abramson is over to take another corner. 11 total on the evening.
Syracuse players playing very high right now.
Crouch thought about checking in for the short option. Instead, it will be the outswinger from Abramson towards Gillard. Didn't quite get the power on it.
Looked to fill in the shoes of Jenna Tivnan there again.
Tivnan, who opened the scoring in the reverse fixture in 2022 from a corner.
Coach Bhattacharjee from Binghamton said that Tivnan was one of the last players he had a role in recruiting when he was at Syracuse. And he said that it was because of her heading ability.
And it was the last goal of her collegiate career at home against NC State last year that Tivnan scored with her head from a corner. How poetic is that? Van de Kloot, nice turn. Gonna try and turn on the afterburners, and the pass hits the legs of Reed. That pass hits the legs of Lauren Clark. Here's Hannah Pilley with Van de Kloot. One time, moves it along. A desperate sliding challenge. Syracuse mounting the pressure, trying to keep this ball up top, and they will with a throw.
And that all comes from these quick passes on the front line between each other and connecting with that chemistry so as to keep the ball and not force it through the defenders, but find feet instead.
Mags Thornton back into the action. So too is Kylan Grant. Pair of defensive-minded substitutions for Coach Adams. Syracuse very much pinned in to this near sideline. Almost every offensive orange player
Good, player.
on the screen now. Cobb, that's a tough sliding challenge from Marsteller. The referee goes for the yellow card. Just the way that Aisha Cobb fell, it looked not nice.
And here's Marsteller going in for that tackle with both feet. She doesn't get ball.
She doesn't get ball. She led with the studs a little bit and left the ground. So in your book, is that verging on serious foul play, possibly red card offense, or you staying with the yellow?
I think it's definitely on the fence between the two. However, I still think just a yellow.
Well, Binghamton have fouled the orange 13 times compared to just 2 from Syracuse. I think the disparity. Flip to the back stick. Cobb was there, falling away from it. And it just skipped away from the senior.
That was a great set-piece play with Rauch sending that ball forward. Asia Cobb knew exactly where she was going and where that run was going to take her.
The offside trap almost worked, but first the referee had to call it back for a foul. And Binghamton now getting to stretch their legs a bit after some very well-sustained pressure from the orange. That ball hoofed into the stratosphere and bouncing over just about everybody. Vanderbosch has come off her line. And the referee saw a foul, but points in the direction of Syracuse.
Syracuse getting lots of these calls lately.
Lauren Clark judged to have an infraction on the rules. 13 now compared to Syracuse's 3. Andy, you don't see that kind of difference in the stats category with fouls very often.
No, definitely, especially when it's a physical match. Usually it's a pretty even one.
That looked like it came off of Grace Vittoria last, and it did. How about the fight up top from Aisha Cobb? One of the 6 seniors honored tonight before kickoff.
And one of the game changers in tonight's game, bringing in that energy and aggression on that front line.
McKnight didn't quite connect. Ashley Rauch did. Here's Kendall Lahr up from the back. Lahr going on a bit of a solo run. Sees Rupert to her right-hand side. Thornton with space. Closed down quickly. She didn't hear the chance from the sideline with man on. Samaya Reed winning it back and charging forward. Won't get a chance to get on the end of the attack she started.
that was one of those plays where you really have to come to the ball in those moments, especially when you know such a fast player like Reed is coming in behind you.
We saw Syracuse able to switch from left to right very quickly earlier. Now in midfield, it seems just slowing things down a little bit. But as you mentioned with Samaya Reed and with a lot of these Bearcats, they're not going to give the middies that kind of time. Herbert checks her surroundings, exploring some real estate. And the pass finds Lauer instead. Intercepted by Vagoda. Lexi Vagoda given some space now. Under her left. And over the frame. Lexi Vagoda, who didn't start tonight's contest, but has played plenty of minutes in it. As Samaya Reed will give a chance to recharge that battery. Peyton Gilmore searching for her 10th career goal with the Bearcats.
Peyton Gilmore started all 19 matches for the Bearcats last year, but only none actually this year.
97 minutes played for the junior through 3 contests off the bench. Was a first-team America East all-conference forward last year. Maybe that is the spark for Coach Bhattacharjee to charge up these Bearcats. The ball begging to be settled as the referee has seen an infraction again.
McKnight not liking that call, and Roush having a laugh about it too.
Vanderbosch. Starting it with Vanderkloot. She's in a bit of trouble here. She's got to be careful. She wasn't. Here comes Binghamton. Early cross stamped away. Marsteller beaten to it by Fleury. And the referee has sounded the whistle again. It's another Binghamton foul. Kendall Lahr has 2 options on the overlapping run. Rupert was one of them, and the pass is a little strong for her. Williams just got it away from Aisha Cobb. Might have heard the wind wrap around that ball. Slide rule pass. Lauren Clark is onto it. Options queuing up in the middle. Clark's cross deflected out for a corner.
That was a lucky counterattack from Binghamton, with Asia Cobb running to try and get that ball out of Caitlin Williams, but then the Bearcats being able to make it all the way up to the other side of the field with that transition ability.
Clark playing a more defensive role in transition, but not afraid to go forward. Had 131 career points just down the road from here at Fayetteville Manlius, the Syracuse native. Cross into the mixer, going down once again, and the whistle sounding once again against Binghamton. Peyton Gilmore doesn't know what she did wrong. That's 10 fouls for Binghamton in the second half.
They had stoppage time here. Much longer game.
We'd be here a while. But no overtime in college soccer. It was a new rule last year. And for a team like Syracuse with such a small roster and such a demanding schedule, there's pros and cons. Sliding challenge, doesn't find the ball. Ashley Rouch looking to break now. 4-on-4 here for the Orange. Rouch's pass careens off the ankle of Lexi Vagoda.
I think so far the story of this second half is fouls, lots of fouls.
Yes.
And the fact that Syracuse is really struggling to make those connecting passes on those transitions, despite the score of being up 2-1.
Victoria McKnight, rather, was the intended target of yet another pass down the wing. A player who had a couple chances straight out of the locker room that would have flipped this game on its head had they found the back of the net. Binghamton was really in the driver's seat coming out of halftime, but it's 2-1, as you mentioned. Such is the way of this sport. Syracuse, in all fairness, did see the lion's share of chances in the first half with 3 hits off the crossbar and a post in the mix as well.
You also look at that difference.
Rauch gonna try it. Oh my goodness! That is unreal!
And there is another crossbar. Here's Rauch making an incredible touch into her left foot and taking that shot with her left the way she's supposed to, but just, again, hitting the crossbar, that corner post even.
How much closer can you get to not find? I mean, at this point, it's harder to hit the crossbar 4 times than it is to accidentally score a goal. It had the curl, it had the power, but it didn't have the dip.
Maybe they're playing too much of the crossbar challenge in practice.
Ashley Rauch trying to put a stamp on this game into the final 9 minutes on senior night at SU Soccer Stadium. Thornton poked away by McKnight, only for Van de Kloot. Dupre now. Hurried along. Rauch let it run. Grant will try a run of her own. Kylan Grant sizing up the frame and bouncing it on the goal mouth of Caitlin Williams.
I love Kylan Grant's move there from faking it going down the left flank, but instead bringing it into the middle to lose the defender. I just do really think that Syracuse needs to take it in a little bit further and attempt to go into the box rather than keep going with these shots.
And to her credit, she did try to put it low, especially when you bobble it in front of the goalie like that. It can create some real problems for any goalkeeper.
Especially because Caitlin Williams really hasn't been tested on those low shots yet.
Tough ask in the corner. Victoria McKnight has kept it in, and the flag has stayed down. Quick cross clipped in. Van der Bosch falling on it. Binghamton nearly equalizing.
Making that cross in, and Van der Bosch being ready and anticipating that first touch volley is exactly what she needed to do.
Olivia McKnight just trying to contort her body and just didn't get enough on it. A difficult shot in the end, did well to test the keeper. Grant sending it long, Dupre down to chase. Marsteller with room to turn. Doesn't beat her mark. Calls from the sideline for Binghamton to step up. Plenty of orange shirts forward as well. Tough header in the air.
Van der Bosch utilizing her new confidence in those long balls.
Grace Vittoria getting all the way up. Somebody who didn't play last year with an ACL tear, but described by her head coach, Neil Bhattacharjee, as someone who never backs down from a physical challenge. Wasn't one to back down in the air there.
He also said she's back and stronger than ever, which is hard to come by after an ACL injury.
Long ball over the top and covered once again in the corner. Zoe Van de Kloot, who started this game in midfield but defensive-minded, has played much more of a defensive role in the second half. So a substitution for Syracuse sees Erin Fleury into the contest for Hannah Pilley up top, but a substitution for Binghamton sees Megan Baker, the freshman, the Syracuse native, making her collegiate debut. And that's what's got the Binghamton faithful so excited here at SU Soccer Stadium.
Make sure we're on our toes, Dad. Get them going. No one's flat.
Megan Baker, James DeWitt's #2 all-time leading goal scorer. We did see a couple of JD fans here tonight in their red. Marsteller falling away from it. Sophia Garofalo tracking back, somebody who has tried that long ball over the top a couple of times for Binghamton, but in this second half, it's been more of that pass along the ground all the way up to the forwards, and really, they've executed it well, the Bearcats. They just haven't found the final products.
We've expected this game to be one of set pieces and corners, given the two teams' past, but it really hasn't been successful on either ends.
Vittoria stuffed by Fleury. Syracuse have numbers. Fleury has Cobb with her, so too is Anna Rupert. Fleury instead told to go to the corner. Anna Rupert was wide open in the center of the park. And Fleury will instead welcome the contact and the foul.
Erin Fleury taking that time while she has the ball to check both sides on her shoulder and double checking to see which way to go.
And Annie, I'm curious to get this take from you as you still play this sport. This is part of it now, the drowning out the clock in the corner. Is it gamesmanship? Is it fair play? Or is it seen as a little bit of a faux pas?
I guess if you're the leading team, you got to do what you got to do to a point. But even then, that type of set play down in the corner is a really tricky one to succeed with.
Well, to be fair, saw it earlier this week actually in the semifinal of the US Open Cup, FC Cincinnati. And, well, they didn't execute that corner play well, and little Argentinian named little Lionel Messi came along and spoiled the party. That's a pass in midfield. The Orange can win, and they do, but give it right away. Garofalo didn't hit it cleanly. Gillard, 3.5 on the clock, trying to see it out. Plenty of time for the Bearcats to go forward once again. Vittoria will try and do so. Here's Olivia McKnight. Scrambled it away. Gilmore. But forward once again. The flag has stayed down against Megan Baker, but the freshman will not get to it. Oh! What's happened here? It's a yellow card.
Another one for the Bearcats.
The debutante, Megan Baker, the Syracuse native, just a couple minutes into her collegiate career, into the book.
Here's Kendall Lawher doing what she needs to do to help Vanderbosch and shield the player, and gets taken down on it. And Vanderbosch knows that that's not okay.
Glad we didn't have a mic on Shea Vanderbosch. Had a little bit of the elbow in there, but just some gamesmanship. You can't touch a goalie, Annie. You know that more than anybody else. The head coach of the Bearcats, Neil Bhattacharjee, getting some words as well from the official. It's going to be a feisty last 3 minutes. The traveling Binghamton faithful bringing the noise at SU Soccer Stadium.
First call for Binghamton in a long time, feels like.
The Bearcats haven't won here since 2005. They've scored the first goal of their season. Last year won the America East regular season title, lost in the final on PKs, but started last year 1-4. Appeals for handball. It's a fantastic volley, but the referee says no. Drama at the death. It's called back, and it's 2-1.
And like you said, that was a fantastic volley. And another one of those calls where if you stop for that handball, just in case, the off chance that it's not called, then kudos to Binghamton to keep it going and take that incredible shot just in case.
It looked like Gilmore did have her arms out from her body a little bit. She's got the ball now. Early cross on the ground. Syracuse are throwing jerseys back. Digging in for the final 94 seconds. There's 2 soccer balls on the pitch. And it is just about the chaotic ending that this game deserved. Gotta love college soccer.
It's heated. It goes to the last minute.
Rauch just clearing her lines. Cobb gonna try and chase it down. Rupert has some speed as well. Forced a bad pass. Rauch dispossessed cleanly.
Rauch was checking her shoulder, checking the right shoulder. She didn't have time to check her left. And Binghamton closed in on her quickly.
And Emma Calling had the space to play that pass, overhit it. And Kylan Grant is going to take as much time as she possibly can to get this throw in. 42 seconds. Rauch hacked and a foul. And that just about might do it.
You know that's a foul when that play would have been an incredible clearance between 2 players.
27 seconds, not done yet. Binghamton throwing numbers forward. And it's another foul. And it's going to be another yellow card. And that is salt in the wound for Binghamton. Fleury was fighting for it.
Both players really fighting for it. And could have gone either way at this point with that type of call.
I guess that's a yellow card for Hannah Mimas. Did you see a yellow card foul in there, Annie?
I think that's a clean foul regardless. Both players collided with each other. I think at this point you might be out of yellow cards to give.
Another foul. And that is just about how this game was going to end. No time for the ball to be restarted.